morning, good afternoon. Hi to you out there. This is Underground Railroad. You know what I am? You're looking at this wonderful um, logo and sign. You know what? I want to review your YouTube website. Okay. And the thing is, so many of us, we start YouTube websites. You know what? We have people that have just started today. We have people that have millions and millions of followers on YouTube that have been here for years, and somebody has accumulated all of these subscribers and all these views within months. And some people it takes years. And you know what? I was interested in doing. I was looking at some videos on YouTube. Daniel Batal. And you know what? I was just wondering. You know what? There's secrets out there to YouTube. We're going to talk about that part in the segment. But the thing is, with YouTube, are you new to YouTube? Are you old to YouTube? You know what? How did you? You know what? I would like to know how did you hear about YouTube? You know, and since I want to hear how you started YouTube, I can tell you how I started, why I started YouTube. Really didn't know that much about it. Didn't know that much about it. One of my colleagues did a television show. He used to have a television show at CAN TV, became Comcast. His name is Mark Sims. This guy inspired me to go back to college. You know that. But the thing is, we do television shows down at CAN Television in Chicago. I'm in the United States of America. And what happened is me and him, we got to talking and he said, you know what, Cliff, my brother Raheem, you know what, hey man, you ever heard of YouTube? You know what? I had heard of YouTube. You know what? I was not one to go on the internet that much. Actually, I didn't even have a laptop. I didn't have an Apple computer, PC. Okay, didn't even use it at the library. You know what? Mark Sims told me, "Hey man, why don't you try putting um your creative content? Why don't you put it on YouTube?" I said, "Oh, fine, fine." He directed me to it, and you know what? It's so funny. So what's so funny is, you know what? He told me, you don't know, man, that Google's is the largest search engine on in. I'm talking about it's better than MSN, it's better than Yahoo, and the YouTube also belongs to. I said, okay, why did you start your YouTube? And then what happened is, I said, I'm gonna start this. I said, you know what, man, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I do not, you know what, I knew how to videotape just a little. And what happened is, I would like for you to share your experience. What happened is, I got my little camera. And I plugged it in. That's back when you had a fire wire. Plug the fire wire in. First of all, I'm skipping something because the thing is, I couldn't figure out how to do it. So what happened is, you know what I said, what I'll do is, I don't know how to do this. It looks like rocket science to me. And actually, I paid somebody to bust up on YouTube. I paid, you know, because hey man, you pay for things that you just don't know. You know, when you start on YouTube, did you know how to upload your content to YouTube? Did you have to pay somebody, or did you have a friend? And did they do it for free? You know, I don't believe in freebies too. I don't believe in freebies too much. So, you know what? Everybody's time is worth something. Everybody's. And what happened is I uploaded. I got a friend to upload it, and I said, charge me. I'm not even gonna say how much he charged me because you know what, I don't look bad. Okay. And he said, I'm gonna review, can I review your channel? He reviewed my channel. And I said, oh, you reviewed my channel. He said, you need a lot of work. You want me to take care of the site? I said, yeah, man, take care of it. I paid him. But then later on, I more or less got into a budget deficit. I had to raise up my debt ceiling like the United States of America. Okay, and what happened is I went to YouTube, and you know what? Now I sit down and looked at tutorials and said, you know what? I'm going to start uploading it on my own self. If you want to call in, the telephone number is 1-312-884-9757 because I would love to hear the story of how did you hear about YouTube? How? How'd you hear about it? I I just, you know what, me myself, I just stumbled. I just stumbled on it because Mark said. And what happened is I got tired of paying people. I got tired of paying people. I had to pay somebody to upload my video. Okay. And I had to navigate around and had to figure out, hey man, you know what? Nah, started a YouTube site. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing. And then what happened is, oh, you know what? I'm going around looking at every you out there. You have beautiful YouTube websites. I'm sitting around looking at your banners. Okay, I had like a bland banner. Did you have a bland banner? Just almost anything that YouTube shows when you started off in YouTube. And I had a banner like that. I said, oh, you know what, man? I like the way it is. You know what? I just couldn't figure it out. I got to tell you something. I went over to Fiverr. Fiverr is some place where you could just pay. You just pay somebody to um, design like a logo or something like that. And pretty soon, after time, I said, wait a minute. If you know how to do this, you shouldn't have no problem whatsoever. You know what? Looking at a YouTube tutorial and designing your own. Tell me something. When you started your YouTube, okay, did you use YouTube's pre-designed banner? Did you pay somebody? Okay. And what happened is it's interesting. First of all, why do you want a YouTube channel? Why? You have to, you know what? If I had to do YouTube all over again and know what I know now, it was a lot of things I didn't know. Like first of all, I didn't know anything about followers. I didn't know anything about subscribers. I didn't know anything about monetization. Didn't know nothing about Google's. You know what? But if I was starting today, or if I was starting all over again, you know, like for the people, but you know what? For you that are listening out there, I would like to know if you were starting YouTube today from very scratch, what would you do differently? What would you do different? Would you build a website? Would you build a YouTube website your own self? Knowing what you know, or would you look at tutorials and figure out how to do it your own self? What would you do? And this, you know what, you out there, you know what I want to do is I want to look at some of your YouTube websites. And what I would like for you to do is send me your website link. And the thing is, what I'll do is I'll share it on this platform. But I'm more or less interested in finding out what made you come into YouTube. What made you develop? Are you getting ready to develop a YouTube platform? Is it to become famous, to go viral? Hey, 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 like on one video, two videos, or is it to money? Some people want to make lots of money doing YouTube. Okay, and you know what? Like Mr. Beast, for example, Mr. Beast is prolific. He's a prolific uh, YouTube content creator. And the thing is, he has millions of followers. You know what? I couldn't teach somebody how to get 1 million followers, but I could teach somebody how to get 1,000 followers. You know, because still figuring this out. But the thing is, if you had to do this all over again, what would you do? What's the first thing you do? I think the first thing that you should do is you need to get a piece of paper, and you know what you need to write. You need to get a piece of paper. You need to write down the possibilities. So, you have a YouTube page, you know what? Send me your website link because, I want to see you and your YouTube page that is specific, that's unique. Okay. And don't let anyone tell you what type of content you should be doing. Because you know what? Everybody has a certain niche. And you have to find your niche on YouTube. Okay. What do I mean by niche? There are people around here that all like dead IQ. Okay. To tell you how to get more subscribers on YouTube. Search engine, that is all they talk about. You might want to talk about war. You might want to talk about knitting, cooking. But find your niche. And you know what? If you got 1,000 followers, you know what? Cater to those 1,000 followers. Now, if there's somebody out there that just has a different idea, what am I going to cater to 1,000 followers? I'm trying to get millions. The thing is, you have to realize that it starts with just one. Just one. Okay. And you know what? I'm wondering by looking at all of these YouTube websites. There's a gentleman out there called Jessica Bakers. I love looking at this. And you know what? I'm just astonished that 4 hours or 2 hours into putting up his content, there's like about 80,000 people that come to his website. How many people come to your website when you first put a video? How many? How many? And first of all, is that important to you that a whole lot of people come to your YouTube website? But when I would like to know when you started your YouTube website. You know what? I want to know, did you give it much thought? Did you actually pull out pen and paper and say, you know what, I'm going to write down, I'm going to brainstorm and try to come up with the best ideas that I can? I would like to know that. That's something I would like to know. And somebody will see this later on, and you know what? They can send me a message telling me how did they start in YouTube? Did they start to make money? Was it a hobby? What did they just love create content? But you got teachers that use YouTube to teach online. You know what? One day, hopefully, I'm going to end up doing something like that. I'm going to get a certificate in something. And 9 times out of 10, it'll be video editing. Like Premiere, Premiere Elements 2022. I usually upgrade to 2000. Go to next year. I'm going to get a 2024 and 25 if I'm around. But the thing is, I'm going to learn it so well the way I will be able to teach some people online. And who knows, I may make a little money. Was your motivation to make money in YouTube? Is that your motivation? Or, like they say in the basketball game, the LA Lakers didn't make it. You know what? Michael Jordan is for the love of the game. That's what Michael Jordan said. He said, I played for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tina Turner when she first started out. She sang in the choir. Solis, Tina Turner. You know what? She really didn't do it to make no money, but she found out that she was good enough. And the thing is, if you utilize YouTube, you can make a lot of money if that is your motivation. But let nobody tell you what you should be creating, because Somebody might say I wouldn't be doing it, and you know what? That just might be your niche. I'm still trying to figure out my niche. And you know what? What I'm going to do is, you know what I'm going to start this out. You know what? Tell you about my channel. And the name of my channel is Underground Railroad TV show in Chicago. Okay, and here it is. But no further ado, with no further ado, you see, that's my site. You know what? The Underground Railroad TV show in Chicago. But the thing is, what made me think about the Underground Railroad television show in Chicago? Okay. I want to talk, but I want to tell you something. I want to talk about your YouTube website, and I love for you to call because you learn about your website. And you know, we'll hit the website link so you can join me on this page. But I said, wow, I didn't write anything down. I didn't have any idea. It was just something that I wanted to. But what is the underground? What is underground media channel? Okay. What it is we talk about New World Order, we talk about government, we talk about gangs, we talk about Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ukraine. We talk about those type of things. Want to get that on out of there. But the thing is, this design, I was gonna go to fiber, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna design it myself. I don't think I did a good job if even if I say so myself. So tell us, you know what, I would really, you know what, for the people that are listening on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr, or you know what, if you have a YouTube website, why did you create it? You have a Facebook account. Why did you create it? Some people just create things to just for their family members. Okay. And they don't want to share it. You can make it exclusively for them and they just want to do something private. Or did you create it to make money? Or did you create it just for fun? You know, that's something that I'm interested. So if you have a YouTube page, if you have a YouTube page, what I would like for you to do is to call in at this telephone number 1-312-884-9757 and tell tell me and now tell us why you created your YouTube page. Why? That's a reason. You know, you were motivated by something. And you know what that thing is? When you know what? I'm going to go to, I guess I'll start the ball off. I'm going to go to one of my favorite websites that I love to go to. And actually, I'm going to tell you about this website. Okay, it's called Just a Few Acres. Yes, a few acres. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show y'all this. And I can't, you know what? I cannot play the content of this website. I'm gonna tell y'all why I enjoy it. You know what? You probably never, ever heard of my website. Probably never heard of it in this way. But you know what? We have certain things that we like, certain things that we don't like. I'm gonna tell, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna show you something right now. All right, I can get to it. Okay, okay, just a few acres. Okay, okay. This is a website that I love going to. Why do I love going to? I would say, here it is. I live in Chicago. I live in Chicago. Okay. What does this young man want to see something about a farm? And the thing is, his website is about farms. I think I think that I don't think I wanted to be a farmer, but that is the name of the website. I am just amazed because the thing is, what he goes around and does, he talks about the chickens, he talks about compost, he talks about cows and all that. You know what? I am amazed. I am just amazed at his website because you know what? As soon as he puts his content up, it's like I saw like 80,000 people that came to his website in one setting. How many people come to your website? We're talking about when you first put a video. How? How? I would like to know that. How many people actually come to your website when you put a video? You know, I can't say it's on. I think it's like only one video, probably one video that I did. You know what? And I want to give a kudos out to this channel because you know what? I paid attention to what he was saying, and you know what? He gave me some tips. Oh no, I can't. This channel. What happened is this gentleman, okay, he gave me some tips on how and what I should be doing to get more people to look at my content. And you know what? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? This is a great website. This is a website, but you know what? By saying that, I know that we all, all of us like different things. All of us, all of us. Okay? I'm gonna put it up. I cannot play any of his content whatsoever. Okay, pause. Okay, and his name is Daniel Natal. And you know what? What he does is he talks about things that are very interesting. You know what? He gives advice on how to get YouTube videos, how to get subscribers, how your content. You know what I did was I looked at one of his videos. I said, you know what, man, you haven't been doing too good. You know, and what happened is I listened to him. I listened to, you know what, I created a video. And what happened is I followed his advice. Actually, what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do. Okay. And he gave me suggestions. He said, hey man, you don't need no intro. Okay, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need and then you know what? I didn't really fully understand what he was saying totally because what happened is it was new to me. It was new to me. And what happened is, wow, wow, like that. And what happened is, I can't show this. But what happened is, he gave me information to create. He gave me information to enhance my website, my YouTube website, and get way more traffic than what I had gotten before. You know what? I appreciated him for that. And you know what? I'm gonna share it. Okay. And I'm gonna share it right now. And the name of it is called What is Brick? And he was saying, you do this, you do that. You say the thing is you don't have, and I said, wow, let me sit there. And I was just amazed, you know. I paid attention to him because you know what, nobody knows everything. Oh, I knew it. One day, one day, I had 300. Probably, probably said somebody probably said 300. That's nothing. So somebody just starting like me, it was a whole lot. And I had 300 people come to my video. Wow! Paid attention to them. I really did. You know what? And what happened is that something that he said. Once you find out, you find video that people like. What you should do, you should make videos about it. Okay, but that does not mean that you can't change up. You can't change up and do this and do that. But I got something out of it, and the thing is, you know what? Because of what I got, that's why I put up this thing. Is because I would like to get him on the show one day. Even if he comes on to comes on for 5 or 4 minutes, I would like for him to come on and then one day. And you know what? What type of shows when you think about YouTube, you have to really think, man, what type of audience is looking at you. And really, the only way you can really find that out is by going in the back of where your content is. I'm gonna show you something. Okay, getting pretty good at this, but I'm not no expert. But the thing is, you have to go and find out your content. What do you like?
WP Engine, we power your freedom.
Okay? And you know how
To
this get.
create online.
I'm
Built
gonna
on
skip past that.
WordPress, the world's favorite way to build a
I'm gonna show
website.
you.
Our open
Salvi Shaskin Pritchard has recovered more than $2 billion for catastrophically injured clients. Visit www.salvilaw.com to learn.
In recent years, BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, have emerged as critical players in the global economy. With their rapidly growing economies, these countries are changing the traditional power dynamics in the world economy. These pictures examine how the BRIC nations are shaking things up and what it means for the global economy. We'll start by looking at the economic growth projections for each country and what's driving their expansion. We'll also explore their various challenges, including corruption, political instability, and environmental concerns. Next, we'll examine these nations' impact on the global economy. We'll explore how their growing middle classes drive consumer demand and how their increasing global connectivity creates new opportunities for trade and investment. Finally, we'll look at the implications of the BRIC nations' rise for the future of the global economy. We'll consider how their rise reshapes international trade patterns and how their continued growth might affect the global balance of power. So join us for this deep dive into the BRIC nations and their impact on the worldwide economy.
What we're going to talk about, there is a virgin currency, and it might not be new. is new to a whole lot of people. And it's called brick. I'm not talking about brick house. That was a song. And it's called brick. And what happened is there are nations that are coming together. They're coming together. Okay. I got Brother Randy Evans coming on. And there are countries that are coming together. And brick. First thing I'll say is brick. The B is for Brazil. R is for Russia. I is for India. C is for China and South Africa. And what they're doing is they're coming together to have their own currency. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the ramifications. We're going to look at why are these nations coming together and they want to, I'm not going to say devalue, they're going to devalue the dollar. And what is the reason? You know what? Because the dollar bill has been strong. that's been the most used currency all over the world. And I got Brother Randy Evans coming in, and I was doing a lot of reading about BRIC, and what I understood is that China and all of these nations, they are saying that they just don't want to rely on the dollar bill anymore. They don't want to deal with the currency anymore. And the thing is, I think two things that they're saying is that the dollar bill are fiat dollars. I have to explain what fiat means, because what fiat means is that we have printed so much money, so much capital. And what happens is when you print more and more and more of something, and it's not backed up by anything, it depreciates in value. And I got Brother Randy calling up. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, good brother. How are you, young fella?
I'm doing all right, my brother. I want to thank you for the coming on the podcast, brother. This is Brother Randy Evans. He is a researcher from out of Chicago. He's trained by Steve Coakley himself, and extensive reader. And I know these YouTube people want you to get to the point. I already know. Do you want to say something to people that's listening briefly?
Well, good afternoon, brothers and sisters and listeners and stuff. And I appreciate y'all listening and supporting Brother Clifton, Brother Clifton Bradley of the Underground Railroad, who does a tremendous job in informing our community. I hope that you find some things that we discuss edifying.
You know what? There's a new currency, and it may not be new, that has emerged, and it may be a threat to the U.S. dollar in our current system. And you know what? It is called BRIC. What is BRIC, and what are some of the nations that belong to it, Brother Randy?
Well, from what I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, the BRIC is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Those are some of the developing countries and nation states and stuff that are challenging U.S. hegemony, economic and financial hegemony, and political hegemony.
Left out South Africa.
Well, that's also, you said BRIC or BRICS, BRICS, South Africa.
Yes.
But the thing about in Africa, there's an issue dealing with the Chinese coming over and South Africa and other parts of Africa, trying to, I guess, merge the two together, China and Africa, creating what they call a second continent. There's a book by Howard French entitled "The Second Continent." Howard French, French, Second Continent, and talks about China's the different things, the infrastructure work and other stuff that they're doing, and they putting money into Africa. So, but the thing about it is that we have to keep an eye on. No disrespect to the Chinese, because their history is very deep, like ours is much deeper. You know, as a matter of fact, the original Chinese were people of African descent. Okay, according to George Guzman Rogers, the 100 Amazing Facts of the Negro. Okay, when he talks about Sun Yat-sen and stuff having black or so-called Negro blood.
Yes.
Okay, and then if you look at Dr. Clyde Winters, the works of Dr. Clyde Winters about about black people, about black presence in China. Clyde Winters, the researcher, Dr. Clyde Winters. But go on, my brother.
And you know what? What is it? Why? You know what? First of all, this is new to me, and I know you're a reader. You know way more about it than me. When did the concept of BRIC come about?
Well, you have to kind of share that with me, because I do remember becoming familiar with BRIC more than 6-7 years ago, and maybe older than that. I cannot give you the definitive, the time and stuff when it was started. But I think they've been developing over the years. But BRIC, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's been existing like less than 10 years, 15 years. I mean, I'm just guesstimating, okay? And much of the stuff was going on, especially much of this occurred after, the different trade agreements, the NAFTA and GATT, North American Free Trade Agreement, and the General Agreement on Trades and Tariffs and stuff. So here you have the U.S. that was dominating, U.S., Israel, much of the European nations, stuff like that, Western nations, that basically were the superpowers that control the economies of much of the world and stuff. So, and they had they were unfair trade relationship with other nation states and countries, taking advantage and exploiting other nation states and countries. So China and others and other representatives from various parts, from Brazil, Russia, India, as well as South Africa, they got together and they decided that they were going to try to set up an entity that will basically try to help them to expand and grow as developing powers and stuff like that, to challenge the U.S. and European hegemony.
You know what is this? I would like to ask you something. Is this a threat to the U.S. currency if they succeed? Because there are a lot of nations that want to join BRIC and want to join that. And is it a serious challenge? And if
yes,
it is, what will be the catastrophic effects if it is?
I'm sure you can see that if these people are successful, these nation states and countries are successful, then the U.S. and stuff like that will challenge in terms of jobs and as far as resources, battling over the resources stuff to try to get the products manufactured, produced, and also the dollar. The dollar is weakening. The U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar number is fiat money. It's phony money. They have nothing to backing it. Silver or gold, anything like that, like it did years ago, centuries ago. Okay, over 100 years ago. You had the U.S. did have it was backed by some resources stuff like silver or gold, but what happened was because of the different entities that are controlled by the U.S. and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and as well as these other banking institutes, the Federal Reserve, those entities are basically responsible for the problems that the U.S. have as relates to the U.S. currency. And plus, that's the reason why you see the increases in goods and services and stuff like that. Because we're right now in a depression right now.
And going back in history, I would like to ask you briefly, what is the reason that President Nixon took the United States off the gold and silver standard? And what is the gold and silver standard?
Well, the thing about it, he took out the gold and silver standard because he talked to his economic and financial advisors. So, that's a good question. Do you have any information to share about that, Brother Cliff?
You know what? I just know that they came off the gold and silver standard, I think in 19. I forgot the year. But I know. Did they provide the reasons why they did that? Those changes occurred because in the U.S., China, it was I think if I'm not mistaken, Nixon they decided to try to cultivate a relationship with China and stuff a number of years ago because there was a battle over the years. I mean, because the U.S. sees China as a threat to the economic and financial interests as well as political interests. Okay, there's been a battle going on for years. So the Chinese have not been treated well by the U.S. China has not been treated well by the U.S.
for a number of years. I mean, you just remember the articles and stuff in the Sun Times. I mean, Chicago Newsweek. Well, not Chicago, but Newsweek and Time Magazine, as well as other articles that were very critical of the Chinese, talking about the yellow peril and all that kind of stuff. So there's been a real concern by the U.S. and those who are part of the various agencies about how the Chinese are growing and expanding, and their economy is growing and expanding. They're going into other countries because you see, like they're in Africa now, and it's challenging a lot of the U.S. and European businesses and corporations that are over in various parts of Africa, as relates to the mineral resources as well as other resources that are in Africa. So, okay.
You know what is this? Okay, you say that the U.S. dollar is not backed up by anything. It is a fiat dollar. Is this the reason that the BRIC countries are purchasing gold and they're purchasing huge amounts of silver to back up their currency?
More than likely. I mean, I would think that that's part of the reason why, and I think that you'll see it as a threat, and then you have those interests that control the economy of South Africa too. That also, because South Africa is involved. It's not the people from our African brothers and sisters who really have the real control of Zania, South Africa. Because who controls consolidated gold fields, gold mines, and Anglo-American Corporate South Africa? Okay. These are people who are relatives and then De Beers and etc. I'm sure names probably change, but I'm saying you have certain financial interests and stuff, certain groups and stuff, certain families that control the major corporation businesses in Zania, South Africa. Okay, I'm talking about Oppenheimer, Harry Oppenheimer's family, Sir Nicholas Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer family. If you want to find more, read the book, get the book South Africa Incorporated. South Africa Incorporated from the data center in California.
You know what? As the dollar bill possibly takes a decline from the BRICS nation.
Having a dedicated home office is so important because it gives me a place where I can sit and focus. My name is Marisol Arteaga. I do contemporary women's wear with a focus on indigenous textiles. Aesthetics are an important part of how I work, and having a desk and chair that are white, it just allows me to be able to sit and have a blank space and to put colors on or fabrics on, and it just becomes like a backdrop for my thinking. My new ergonomic desk from Office Depot has been great because I can sit or stand. Being able to stand and sketch has been really helpful for my work. I can't function without having some place that is just only my work. So a place that I can walk away from at the end of the day and have it be in the corner, and I can live the rest of my life in the rest of my house.
A third kid? What if she likes playing golf? It's expensive. We're outlawing golf. Wait, can I still play?
Since we work with Empower, we don't have to worry about planning for a third kid. You can still play golf. Sometimes.
Take control of your financial future to empower what's next.
You think that will make the taxes go up on the people that can pay in Chicago? I mean, not Chicago, United States, and inflation.
More than likely it will, but the thing about the problem is that it's the plutocrats, it's the wealthy that really are concerned about these changes stuff. But what they are concerned about is that if these prices and services and goods and services go up, increase and stuff, and then the people start, you can see social unrest. You can see people robbing, killing, like this stuff, the carjackings and attacks. See, as long as these different attacks and killings and shooting stuff are in our community, the Black community, African community, then it's okay, it's tolerated. Mm-hmm. But the moment it spread to the non-African, non-Black areas, well, that's when people become concerned. When it started to when the people started going to the affluent area, the rich area, where the well-to-do, the rich people making 6 or 7 figures, 8 figures, the multimillionaires and billionaires, the people who are part of the aristocracy, the elite, the wealthy, the plutocrats, these plutocrats or the wealthy. That's when you'll see some changes, some concerns. So, okay.
You know, when we talk about that, man, Brazil has already joined. My question is to you that the United States right now has weapons and they're supplying Ukraine with weapons. What happens?
Okay.
What happens if Russia decides to put missiles, hypothetically, in Brazil or any of these BRIC nations and their allies? Is that possible?
I mean, the thing, but I'm sure there's been some thoughts about them doing that stuff, but the problem is that then they're gonna probably get a response from NATO, North American Treaty Organization, NATO, the NATO military groups and stuff, as well as others. So I think you already see what's going on, between the U.S. and Russia right now. I mean, where the Vladimir Putin was trying to annex Ukraine, right? Because Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union, but it was USSR, okay. And so now that the USSR does not exist and stuff, and so there's still ongoing concerns about the Ukraine stuff. Who's going to control Ukraine? Because it's of geopolitical, geostrategic importance and stuff. And so you have the people. Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was the first director of Trial Commission, and Jimmy Carter's former national security, U.S. national security advisor. Him and others, people who are Islamists, pro-Islamists, from Washington, were concerned about what was going on and stuff, and in those areas and about Ukraine and whatever. So they're the ones who really caused the collapse. The strategists in Washington caused the collapse of the USSR. Okay, there was an article in the consortiumnews.com that was Robert Perry's piece, the late Robert Perry, the investigative reporter who passed away a couple years ago. He used to write for various publications stuff, and he has his online research group with the consortiumnews.com as well. You go to the intercept.com, that's Glenn Greenwald and them. They basically talked about. They had discussions about Ukraine, about the racists, the Nazis in Ukraine. Okay, as a matter of fact, this recent situation, where the Russians attacked Ukraine, the African brothers and sisters, the African migrants, they're not like the stuff they talk about, these basically the undocumented workers and stuff, the illegal aliens, or what they call illegal aliens, people who are here illegally and stuff.
I saw that in the news.
So you can go, you can go to counterpunchnewsletter.com and aljazeera.com and blackandgenderreport.com and and these various websites to get other information and stuff about what's going on, as well as if you go to Al Jazeera, it'll give you the lowdown on a lot of stuff that's going on, and as well as Amy Goodman's program, democracynow.org. You go to democracynow.org and you'll get coverage of what's going on and stuff. And it was, so that's it. So any other concerns or issues or questions?
One other question. How do you think that this is going to turn out? Give us a synopsis of how you think this is going to turn out with BRICS.
Managing the lien waiver exchange is critical. Cutting, mailing, and following up on paper checks takes time and can really slow down payment processes. With GCPay, there's a better way, and it can save you time and money. You can
versus the Federal Reserve and all these other nations. What do you think? What do you think is going to be the outcome?
Well, I think that basically, I think it's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be like the OK Corral if you're not careful. Okay. Okay, it's going to be. See, I learned you can have strategic defense, strategic offense, and strategic stalemate, right? So I think they're going to try to, because the U.S. is really in a very bad position because the U.S. is in debt to a number of nation states and countries, China and other places, stuff, and Saudi Arabia. If these groups were to call in the debt, the U.S. be in some serious trouble. You will see more, and the elite, those who are part of the elite, and will be jumping out the windows, committing suicide, okay, and killing themselves, and stuff. And you'll see the economy of the U.S. plummet and stuff. And that so they know that there are certain things that the U.S. has to be careful because they're playing a game. If you go to the Council on Foreign Relations and trial commission and get their reports. And they'll show you in the various reports from the Trial Commission, the Council of Foreign Relations, their concerns about BRIC and about India and about what's going on. And they think that they're looking at Africa. They think they have control of Africa. But see, the problem is that you have people within Africa that won't stand up and challenge a lot of stuff that's going on because they don't want to end up like Patrice Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah and Amilcar Cabral, a number of our African leaders and stuff. I remember Brother Samora Machel. And so how his plane crashed. So my thing is we have to protect our African brothers and sisters on the continent and throughout the global African world, as Winoka Rashidi talks about his global journey throughout the world and stuff like that. Winoka Rashidi, well-known researcher and scholar who passed away over a year ago.
Yes. Well, you know what, Brother Randy, do you have, please, can you give people your contact information? How do people get in contact with, and do you have some finishing comments? Because I'm sure there's a specific message you want to put out.
No, I mean, as far as contact, they can kind of reach out to you and stuff because this is, how we operate. I wouldn't want to share my information like that over, because my problem, I have some problems with my phone system right now. Okay. So if they want any information stuff, they can reach out to you. You give your information stuff, and that way, then I can try to connect. And they give your name and phone numbers, and if they need some information, a reader list, a book list, or some information stuff, then I can probably work out something and mail stuff to them. Okay.
Do you have any finishing comments?
Well, my thing is I just want to say I appreciate much of the work that you're doing. I also want to acknowledge our brothers and sisters who made the transition, particularly people like Jim Brown, the well-known football player and activist and businessman who died just recently, Brother Jim Brown at the age of 87, as well as Eugene Perkins, the poet and playwright and this Renaissance man who recently died a little over a week ago on the 7th of May. And then also Brother Harold Belafonte, who recently made his transition, activist, great humanitarian, just a beautiful brother. Also like the other two I mentioned. Yeah. And I mean, just like I said, and a number of other. I hope no disrespect to any other brothers and sisters. I didn't leave my intention, but those are people coming to my right way. And I know Brother Eugene Perkins quite well, and just much respect to them and stuff. And I hope that people also, lift them up and support them and stuff. So, and then also want to say that the people keep reading and studying and stay informed. Go to blackagendareport.com and get the material. Go to counterpunchnews.com and get the information. Go to and join the various organizations, black organizations and stuff, and force them to do what they're supposed to do and stuff, and to help enfranchise or empower our communities and stuff. Whether it's Rainbow Push, NAACP, Urban Legal, start your own organization, Cobra, NARC, No Effing Around group, support them, No Effing Around organization, and also support black institutions, support black bookstores. So yours underground bookstore here in Chicago, 1727 East 87th Street off East End, between East End and Prager, as well as hook up with Sister Nzinga Nomo of Afriwear, Nzinga Nomo Afriwear Incorporated in Maywood, Illinois, 708 I don't know, that might be a whole number, but contact Sister Nzinga Nomo, Afriwear Inc. She's a wonderful sister, has all kinds of books and resources and stuff for people. And so I'm Maywood, Illinois, and like I said, and your Amishada is the proprietor of Underground Bookstore, as well. Go to the Culture Connection bookstore on 71st and Stewart here in Chicago. Okay. And with that, I also want to say thank you for interviewing me and for letting me share with the brothers and sisters who are listening. Thank you.
Okay, brother. Assalamu alaikum to you. Thank you, brother.
Wa alaikum salam. All right. Take care.
I'm going to end this. And what Brother Randy Evans is a good brother in the community. I'm going to try to get him on to talk about what's going on with China.
You have reached the Small Business Funding Department.
And how China's maybe taking advantage of a whole lot of nations by giving them loans that they cannot pay back in Africa. But is it to better Africa? Or is it to exploit Africa? And we're going to sit back and look at that. But we were talking about BRICS. So Thank you very much for watching. If you like this, share it. Thumbs up. I'm like,
Listen, paying $14.99 a month for a streaming app.
so, so I am back. You know what? They're laughing. What are they doing? Can't have them laughing. Oh, and so you know what? I am back. You know what? I want to thank the people that looked at the YouTube page and heard. It's you. It's all about you. I, Next time, I want to hear about your YouTube page. Why did you start YouTube? Why? I want to hear about that. So I'm going to do another show Saturday, and what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to talk about China and emerging power that it has, and print the new currency that they have. So I'm going to sign on off. Thank you. Each individual that is watching, share this. I'm not even going to say share this. If you like it, you'll share it. If you like it, you subscribe. But you know what? It's all good. I'm going to quit playing that. Okay. But thank you. This is from the United States, Chicago, Illinois. Thank you.